Hello students, welcome to the second part of the first lecture in the week 3. In the previous class, we looked at the importance of Linux, how it evolved, and the basic commands that you can use to handle files, manipulate files, right? So in this class, we'll go a little further and see some more commands that can help you to look at the file permissions or looking at system information and connecting to remote servers, etc. So when you are having a file in Linux, so you have some permissions assigned to that file, which you can change also, but otherwise, like if root has assigned those permissions, you cannot change. Okay, but it is important to know that what permissions a file has. Okay, so basically different levels of permissions could be there, like you can only read the file, that means you can read the contents but you cannot edit. So it is important that sometimes, for example, there is a sequence file that is coming from a sequencer or from a collaborator has shared, so you don't want to change anything in that file and create it as is, but only for read only access you can give to that file. Okay, read and write, because generally like a program or this which you are developing, you should be able to read and write that program, so that is fine. And especially for programs, you also need permission to execute, so execution, okay, so that you can run that program in the shells that you are the terminal, right? And you can look at the file permission using this, like ls-l and the file name. So it will show the permission level like this. So there is 3 characters R, W and X. Okay, R, W and X, read, write and execute. Okay, so R means only read only permission. W means write permission also. If the file contains says RW, that means you can read and write that into that file. And X means that is an executable file. Okay, so it could be RWX also if the file you can read, write and execute like a program. Okay, so this is like as a directory D, and read, write, execute, right? Symbol. Okay, so this is the user, group and the world. So basically user can read this directory and write into this directory. Okay, the group can read, write and execute. Okay, and the world can only read or execute, but they cannot write. Okay, so basically like you have developed a program, you can read the code, you can run the code, but you cannot edit the code. Okay, so this way you can organize the permissions in your file, and there are commands that can do this, which we will do in the next class. Okay, and then you might be running processes in your system, and you want to know that how long a process is running, what all processes are running, right? There could be some backend processes also which might be taking a lot of memory or CPU. So you want to know those processes, see that how long they are running, and also sometimes you want to kill or delete those processes. Okay, so for that you can say ps minus u, say username. So this will tell you all the processes that are running by that user. Okay, so a root can also do this. So by changing this username, it could be username is important because in a Linux system, it could be that many people might be using the system at the same time. So it could be a server which many people are accessing, and they have their own username and passwords and basically their own permission to access that server. Okay, so you may like to see that who all are using those system and what processes are running. Similarly, like in a system, you want to know exact details of all the processes that are running. So there is a command called top. Okay, so if you say top, so it will give you list of all the programs which are running, including the process ID, which is called PID, the username who is running it. Like there are 3 users you can see here, Vineet, Root and Sudhir. Root will always be there because root always runs some backend processes, and the other users like Vineet and Sudhir who are using it. Okay, and the other important things are that what is the CPU it is occupying, like 1% here, RAM, memory. Okay, and time since it is running. So like this one is running from a long time. Okay, this one is this one just started, because this is top. When you run top is also a process, and which you are seeing that okay, like after executing the command top top, it was only 22 seconds since the screenshot of this image was taken. Okay, so this way you can know that what processes are running, and this PID is important because that is a handle to access that process. Okay, so many processes can be in the background, many processes in the foreground. Okay, so right, so this is your process IDs which you can use to kill a process also. So kill is a command to terminate a process. So once you know that what processes are running, okay, you want to kill maybe this process, okay, which is this one. Okay, so which is basically a FileZilla. There is, okay, right, FileZilla is one software which is running, and you want to kill that software and stop that software from running, because you want to kill the processes because sometimes you have you know that the output that you wanted from that program is not appropriate. Okay, or the program is running from a long time, but you know, you want to restart your system, or there could be some, you know, process which is unnecessary taking you know, RAM and this space, right? So you, okay, so by using this PID you can kill. So basically the command will be like, you can say generally kill -9 and the PID. Okay, okay, so basically kill, you can directly also give and kill 16067, right? So 16067 will be the PID here. Okay, and it will kill this process. So when you again run top, this process will not appear. Okay, so this way you can know that you know, how many processes are running, and you can also get a summary that how many you are running, how many are sleeping, how many are stopped, okay, or running at the back end, okay, and total processes, right? So this gives you an overview of what is going on in the system. And when you have started the top command, or you know, this command, so you know, to kill the top command, you have to do Control C, so that you can come back again to your command prompt. Okay. Now in a file you want to know that how many characters or lines are there. Okay, so to, you know, WC is the word count, is a command which can count the word, characters or lines in a file. So like this is a file letters.txt. So if I say WC -L, it will tell you that, okay, how many letters are there in this lines are there in this file. Okay, so that means it has 26 lines. If I would have done WC letters.txt, it would have given me all the characters which are present in this file. Okay, so this is a good command to know the number of lines in a file, characters in a file, which is very useful, you know, sometimes to check the contents, and also you know, character count is also important. Okay, one very important command is grep, which is to you know, search a pattern or find something in a file. Okay, so file, folder, anything, you know, you can use, or even two files you can compare using grep. So okay, for example, there are several programs, and basically they start with the word hello, appears somewhere in the program. So if you say like grep hello start.pl, so it will print all the programs and lines where this word hello is appearing. So in all the programs, so a.perl, pl, b, okay, pl means like Perl program, pl. Okay, so a.pl, b.pl, c.pl could be like 2-3 programs which contain the word hello. Okay, so wherever this word hello is coming, so it is telling that, okay, there is a program called hello world.perl, okay, where there is a line print hello world /n, so where the hello word is appearing. So it is telling you that where all this word hello is appearing. Okay, similarly you can also do grep in a file, that you can, you know, extract. If you specify a file name, you can you know, get the exact word or pattern that you are looking for in that file. Okay, it will tell you that which all lines contain that pattern in that file. Okay, so grep is a very important command, and basically if you want to know further about grep, then you should man grep, and you can get a lot of information about grep from this manual. We will also try to cover this in the next class in detail. Okay, then basically storing files or keeping files in a compressed format is very important because of various reasons, like sometimes your project is over and you want to compress and make a folder, okay, so that you don't touch that folder again and again, or you want to compress and share somewhere, or store somewhere, okay, make a copy of it. So basically compression is important, okay. So okay, so basically there's a command, okay, so to compress and uncompress a file, okay, so gzip is a command to compress a file, okay. So like if the file is say letters.txt which contain 26 lines, if you see in the previous one, okay, so if I say gzip letters.txt, so it becomes letters.txt.gz, okay. So the initial file letters.txt no more exists in that directory, and the letters.txt.gz appears, okay. So that means your file is now in a compressed format, okay. Now again, if you want to get back that original or uncompress that file, you can say gunzip g unzip letters.txt.gz, okay. This was a file that was zipped earlier, okay. So it will again give you the original file. So zip and unzip are two options using gzip and gunzip command, okay. Okay, which is pretty much the same that you do like in Windows, like do right click and make a zip file of a folder, compression, okay, right. And similarly, like tar is a very important command to make a bundle of files, okay. So okay, so basically if there are multiple files, so you may like to combine those files, okay, and then basically do the zip. So basically if there are many files like a, b, c, d, or 4 files are there, so you will say like tar minus cvf, okay, a, b, c, d, okay. So basically this will compress, and you also have to tell like the destination, like tar dot, or basically you can give any name like files dot tar, okay. In this folder abcd files will be combined together. Tar minus cvf will combine the 4 files into a single folder, okay. And I think like we are also covering tar and zip in the next class in detail, okay. So like these are some examples of the same, like okay, tar minus cvf, cvzf, you can see I told you in the previous one cvf, right. So that is for compression. If I also put z in between, so it will uncompress a file which was already a tar as well as gz file, okay. So till here it is a bundle with tar, okay, dot tar, and that bundle has been compressed at dot gz, okay. Now if I say tar minus cvzf, so it will uncompress this into a folder, okay, right. So basically this will give you this, okay, these 2 files will be compressed here, okay. So right, so this is the zipped file that was made here, okay. And there are some editors which are available, and you can also download from web, like there are so many user friendly editors which are available, okay. So gedit and kedit usually comes with the system, with the linux os, and they are commonly used and user friendly. And vi is so basically these are gui based editors, and vi is non-graphical or just terminal based editor, which is very important when you are working on remote systems where you cannot open the GUI on that system and also view in your system. So you can open a file in a terminal and basically edit that file and save that file, okay. So vi is very important that way, okay. So this is the example of gedit GUI editor, okay. Like similar to your WordPad in Windows, you can type your contents here and basically save it, and okay. So this has many of the utilities and functions that you are so basically it is not Word, but it is Microsoft Word, but it is like a WordPad kind of thing, okay, or Notepad, For Word and this, you have to install the OpenOffice, which is another application, sometimes inbuilt with Linux, and sometimes you can also download from web. Okay, VI editor is a very important terminal based editor, which you can open the file in a terminal, and you can change the contents of the file, and find something in a file, delete something, add something. Okay, basically do everything in a file using in a command line mode. Okay, and where you don't need any GUI based application, right? So very important for remote access, because mostly in computational genomics you may not be having a very big server at your desktop. Okay, or okay, so you will be using a terminal, which you will be connecting to a high performance cluster, or a big server, and you will having access to that using a login password, and doing this in a remote access. So basically VI will be very important there. Okay, so this is the VI editor, and you can use it. Basically there are some set of commands that are needed to access this or do the VI operation. So man VI can tell you a lot about the VI editor. Now, as I mentioned that connecting to a remote server or working remotely is generally the common thing in high performance computing or in genomics. Okay, so basically there are several commands which are used for remote login. Okay, like telnet is one command, and SSH or remote login, ping, FTP, who, talk. Okay, telnet you can remotely log in into a machine for which you have the IP address, username and password. Okay, our login is same as telnet, but slightly different protocol. Okay, ping is to check whether the system that you are going to connect is up or not, that is online or not, or that is responding to you or not. Okay, so we'll see some examples later. FTP is file transfer protocol, which we have also seen previously in these classes, and this can help you to log in to a system and edit few things, put, get, and those kind of commands are there, right? And you cannot edit the files there, but you can always put something in the remote folder or get something from a remote folder. Okay, and similarly there is SFTP also, which is now commonly used, which is secure FTP. Who is to check that who else is logged in this system, right? How many users are logged in. And talk is like, if you know that who is logged in, you can always write a like small message to that user by using the command talk. Okay, so ping is an important command because you want to know whether a website or the IP address that you want to connect to is up or not. Okay, it is, or basically it also tells you whether your internet is up or not. Okay, like if I say common site which is accessible like google.com, so if I say ping google.com, so it is sending data, okay, to google.com. okay, and basically 64 bytes are sent, and it is telling that how many times it has sent, and time for the response, right? So this tells that you are able to connect to google.com and it is responding to you, but although you cannot log in into google.com unless you have the proper credentials, right? But it tells that okay, that site is online. That means one is your internet is online, okay, and second you are able to connect to outside. Okay, and who is a command for knowing that who else is logged into a system. So like you can say that this gives me like 1 and 2 users. Okay, so these 2 users are logged in and running various programs. Now you want to connect to a remote server. So basically in Linux, in your system, terminal will be there to connect. But if you are working from Windows, then you can install an application called putty.exe from this site. Okay, right? So you can download putty.exe file and install in your system. So it will give you a kind of terminal, because Windows terminal is not so good. Okay, then you should have the IP address, which is of 4, you can say, digits, 1, 2, 3 and 4 positions. You have to enter some numbers, right, which is the IP address of the system, right? and you can connect to this, okay, by adding your username and password. Okay, so connection can be by SSH or by telnet, okay, by FTP. Okay, so for example, I want to connect to some server for which I have the IP address. The username is bio402, and so basically the username and the IP, there is a at in between, so that you pass on the information that okay, this is the user connecting to this IP. Okay, and then when you are connecting for the first time in the remote server, it will send some key, and it will say, do you want to accept this key? Then if you are sure that you are connecting to the right side, you should say yes. Okay, you should write yes there, and basically then your key is accepted. But if you deny this key for the first time, basically you may not be able to log in again, and you have to do some manipulations in your system, delete the previous key permission, and again try to log in. Okay, and then enter the password that you have to connect to that system. Okay, so password is like prompt comes after your user and the IP combination has been successfully verified and you have accepted the key. Okay, so like you can say SSH username at the IP address that you want to connect to. It will prompt you with some password. You have to type the password here, but when you are typing the password, you will not see any character. Okay, so don't think that nothing is being typed. So whatever you are typing, the system is taking that, but is not showing you, just for safety security reasons, right? And then you will be logged in to that system, and it will ask you that okay, you are logged in on this date and this time. Okay, okay, so these were some of the commands, and some more we will see in the next class also. And in the just to close this session, I would like to introduce two more things to you. One is the application of Perl and Python in bioinformatics. So Perl and Python both are high level languages. Okay, they are not low level languages like C. Okay, so high level languages is good because it may be slow, it could be, but it is very easy to write the code, right? And okay, and it is very user friendly also. So it's an interpreted language, so interpreters for these languages should be present in your system, which comes by default, but you can always upgrade or degrade the version of that interpreter. Okay, so it is expected to be easy to use, efficient and complete. And basically it is said that the Human Genome Project, when it started in 1995 or something, basically it was mostly the biologists who were basically working in their labs, experimental labs, who learned Perl and started analyzing the data. Okay, and that is why the chain or the group of bioinformation actually emerged or appeared. Okay, so it is said that Perl saved the Human Genome Project because it was easy to learn. It is just like English, that you can learn easily if the syntax is common for basically most of the languages. The main function and syntax may be variable a little bit. Okay, so okay, so and it combines the very important features of C, SED, awk and Perl and sh. Okay, so it is easy to write and does not require any kind of declaration. Okay, and like in C you want to declare that int, char or this kind, but here you don't need to declare a variable. Okay, and you can convert between data formats. It uses regular expressions, string manipulation, which are very important feature. Okay, because basically DNA is like a string, and you want to get something in that string, cut something, delete something, or reverse translate or something. It is object oriented also at the same time. Okay, use various system calls, pipes and those kind of commands, and also good for the web development. So either you learn Perl or Python, basically both you can do for web development also. And there are so many Perl modules which are available freely, which you can use, right? So if you search for a program, it is most likely that you can get this program ready-made from the web. Okay, and many information you can get from this site. Similarly, Python is also a high-level general programming language, and Python has evolved even more than Perl these days because of its usage in artificial intelligence and machine learning applications, because it supports the development of those algorithms, and it has many integrated utilities for that. Okay, though Perl you write in a straight format, Python is required some kind of indentation. So it is basically you have to learn little about indentation, or if you are using a good editor, it will know that you have declared that you are writing a Python code, so it will do the indentation on its own. Okay, so it is easy to write and easy to understand like Perl. Okay, does not require too many intricacies in your system, and can run fast. Although if you want to access process bigger files, you have to have the capability in the system also. There are so many BioPython and Python based bio libraries available, even for AIML or genomics applications, right? And it is very fast updated and evolving, so you will find new features every time. Okay, and very popular for machine learning AI based applications. So Python and Perl are basically very important for bioinformatics because they are convenient, easy to learn, and are very powerful in terms of string manipulations and right, and inbuilt features. Like you may want to write like 100 lines code in C, which you can do in like 5 or 10 lines in Perl, because of its because many things are already pre-built as a function. Okay, and once you have developed a program, you can also convert that to an exe, an executable file. Okay, so one can learn it very quickly. You can manipulate a lot of data, long sequences, and basically strings. Like if you see in FASTA format file, there was a greater than symbol, then annotation, and then the sequence, right? So basically this is one regular expression. There could be some strings or some regular expression here on sequences also. So these things you can manipulate very easily in Python. Okay, so it is an advanced level language. Okay, and includes good feature of all the languages. Okay, it has smaller coding length and very portable. Okay, speed is maybe slow, but it is good for you will not realize that it is slow, right? And once you have made the program, you can always convert that program into a C program later. Okay, but initial development of the program, optimizing the program, you should always do in these kind of languages, Perl or Python. And okay, recoding in C may be done later. Okay, so these are some of the books that you may like to consider for like bioinformatics skills, or Perl for bioinformatics, mastering Perl for bioinformatics, similarly mastering Perl, Python for bioinformatics. Okay, R we will be doing in the next few classes. Okay, so so what we learned in this lecture is like we looked at the different file permissions and what is their significance, and how to check the system information, how to connect to the remote servers, and basically these three things we will also be touching upon when we go further into do the practical applications of these. And we also looked at some common editors and also noted the significance of Perl and Python in bioinformatics. So thank you for this class, and we will meet in the next class. Thank you.